Hello friends, how's everybody today? I am so glad to see you all. This is the beginning of something that could be fun. I don't know, we'll try it and see how it goes. So we bought this farm 6 years ago. We bought the farm and have learned a lot over the past 5 or 6 years. And in the past couple years, I've had people start asking me for advice or suggestions or tips, and it's really fun when I'm able to help them. And when I'm unable to give them the answer, I always research it and come up with something. But even more exciting is that in the past probably 12 months, I have had a couple handfuls of people very seriously ask me to teach them how to garden. Now, I would rather say help them learn how to garden because I am still very new. I'm very much a novice. I am not a master gardener, but I have learned a lot over the past few years. And gardening just brings me so much joy. It's really, really fun. It's a great way to spend time. You're outdoors, you're nourishing your family. I would love the opportunity to share that joy with all of you. So we are going to start today with lasagna gardening. Now here's what's cool. I have never done lasagna gardening before, but I've always wanted to. So we're going to try it together. I also want to throw in there that, like I said, I am no expert, but I do have a lot of friends who are really, really great gardeners. One of the things that people seem to really enjoy is when we do a little tour of the garden. So we're going to tour other people's gardens too and get some of their tips and some of their helpful hints. So we're just going to try and build this community of gardening and just having so much fun and getting so much joy out of communicating together, sharing tips, saying what works, what doesn't, asking questions, being able to answer for our friends, and it's just going to be really fun. So I just want to thank you for joining me today, and let's do it. Let's lasagna garden. So first of all, lasagna gardening is an opportunity. This is Sully, he'll probably be in a few of the videos, is an opportunity to garden without tilling. And there are a lot of benefits to this. So there are a couple words I'm going to throw out here. The number one benefit to lasagna gardening is not disturbing your soil. So you protect your soil food web. And that is your community of organisms underground. When you rototill, you scramble all that up, you destroy little homes and little families, and here everybody gets to stay and live together, to work together and be all healthy and happy and do what it takes as a community to make your soil super healthy. Another benefit is that you get to use stuff you already have. I mean, today we're going to use things that I found. Now granted, I have a lot of resources here on the farm, but I think you'll be able to find these resources too. My favorite thing about lasagna gardening is I get to do it now. I get to do it in November or October or December, depending on where you live. And then that frees up a couple hours in the spring that I don't have to till up my soil and prep a bed because it will be already ready. And I have plenty of other things to do in the garden in the springtime. So as far as is it more or less work, that's kind of questionable. I don't know. I've got some hours in here. I mean, I gathered all this stuff. I'm prepping the bed. It still is going to take a little bit of time, but the time is on the front end in November or in the fall and frees you up a little bit more in your garden in the springtime. So that's what's kind of exciting to me about that. So the steps to a lasagna garden. Number one, you need to plan your space. Number two, you need to gather your stuff. And number three, you make layers, and that's all there is to it. So what you can do for planning your space, some people take a little piece of string and kind of mark out where they'd like their garden to be. I know right where I want my bed to be. This is usually where I have my beans. And then after we pick our beans, we just let the soil go. And it does not take long at all for weeds to move in. Now, if I had some like big, sticky, yucky stuff here, like big, ugly weeds or blackberries or something like that, I would definitely pull those and dig those out before I started my lasagna garden. However, I'm just going to go right over this. And you can also do this for a raised bed. If you want to go ahead and pound down your raised bed, and then you can just do your lasagna layers inside of that raised bed. That's another way to do it. And then you don't have to buy a bunch of soil in the springtime when you do your bed. So let's go ahead and get started. Like I said, I'm going to do this right here, and I'm going to start out with a layer. Oh, let's go over all of our things that we need first. Okay, you need cardboard. This is going to be your bottom layer, okay? So you need enough to put at least one layer down over the size of your bed. Then you're going to need layers of brown and green. So the green stuff is stuff that is recently alive. So that is grass clippings. I've got some grass clippings here. I have a bucket of kitchen scraps, not chicken, we'll get to that in a little bit. I have a bucket of chicken scraps. I have some alpaca poop. You can also use compost, coffee grounds. And the cool thing about all of those products is they are gassing off nitrogen. So your soil needs a lot of things, but two main components that it gets from lasagna gardening are nitrogen, which it gets from all of these green things, and then it needs carbon from all of the dead things. So your brown pile is leaves, and if you have sticks in them, that's okay. In fact, if you have space because your leaves are still kind of puffy and not compressed and you have sticks in there, that's a good thing because that leaves air pockets in there, and then the green parts don't get moldy. So you need kind of, if you get sticks, twigs, that's okay. Leaves, brown leaves, shredded newspaper you can use. You can also use pine needles. I did dig up a bucket of pine needles here, and peat moss, and all those things are going to gas out carbon. So together you get this lovely nitrogen-y, carbon-y, beautiful environment that's going to be amazing for the soil that you plant whatever you plant in it in the springtime. Okay, enough about that. Let's get to it. So I'm going to start out with cardboard. I just happen to have cardboard right here. And I did kind of poke some little holes in here. Make sure you take all your tape and all your labels off of your cardboard. There we go. So once we have the shape of our garden, we are going to water it down. I'll be right back. You want to give it a real good soak. Now, if you don't have cardboard laying around, you can use about 10 to 15 sheets of newspaper. Just lay them out and spread them down. If it's a really windy day, good luck with that. All right, now I'm going to start with a brown layer. You are not going to believe this, but by the time we're finished, we're supposed to have it 2 feet high. And that is supposed to compress pretty rapidly over the next couple of weeks. Okay, so now I'm going to throw on a green layer. Let's do some grass. These are just fresh grass clippings. A little bit of straw. You never know what you're going to find here at the farm.